All right, we are doing our state of the county as we begin into April and start head into May here. I'm talking to Anderson County Administrator Rusty Burns. And what's on the top of your agenda other than having to meet with people all the time?
Well, let's see. Today we have a plastic injection company coming in, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get them, and that's going to be 81 new jobs in the plastic injection molding field, so we're kind of happy about that. We're putting out a press release, or getting ready to, on a company called Element that does materials testing that's going to go in Piedmont, South Carolina, the Anderson side of Piedmont, South Carolina.
Good.
And then we're also getting ready for an announcement from Kelly Engineering in the Powdersville area. And so those are three things that are going on right now, and all of them are happening within a space of 2 weeks. Kelly has around 20 people working there now. I expect they're going to grow up and have 1,000 people, local, homegrown group right here in Anderson.
Good jobs.
Really good jobs. If you know any welders, let us know, because everybody's looking for welders.
Too old to be a welder. But.
So we've got that going on. Another thing, on the 13th at the Dan Cooper Library in Powdersville, something I'm very, very proud of, is that the Veterans Affairs Office is going to have a Veterans Affairs presence at the Powdersville Library every Wednesday. That area is growing very fast, and so have to give all the credit in the world to Matthew Muth, who's our new Veterans Affairs Officer, and he suggested it. So they're going to be there on Wednesdays. So for our veterans in that area, they won't have to come to Anderson, they can go there. And depending what the traffic is, we could be expanding that. So we're excited about that. The fair starts tomorrow, and everybody loves the fair, so we'll expect a big crowd out there.
The Great Anderson County Fair.
The Great Anderson County Fair, so we're excited about that going on. Last weekend we had about 350 high school kids fishing out at Green Pond. And that was just the young people who were fishing. Got 2 more tournaments that we've lined up. We're getting ready for the Great American Crappie Tournament, which is coming up in the next couple of weeks, and there seems to be a lot of local interest in that, so we're excited about that.
Green Pond's been worth every penny we've spent out there.
Look, last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, was 1,000 hotel rooms. That's big time. And of course, there are 2 new hotels that are going up in Anderson County, one in Powdersville and one going up near Wild Wings at 81 Clemson Boulevard. So you've got those 2. They're not building those hotels because they think somebody might come. So we're excited about that. We got the latest update, Arthrex newsletter, and they're already placing equipment in the Arthrex building.
That building looks good.
Yep. And Tri-County Tech across the street is about to open their facility to train people from Arthrex. Arthrex has already given them the equipment, which is in that building, and that training is going to start on the 14th. So if you're interested in a job with Arthrex, you need to go to the Arthrex website and put your name in the pot, because there are 2,000 opportunities to win. So we're excited about that.
And again, those jobs we've talked about before all kind of go north of $20 an hour.
Yes. And what we're not excited about is working on the county budget, so we're not excited about that.
But you still have to do it.
But we still have to do it because it's the law.
What are the biggest challenges in this year's budget?
The biggest challenges are personnel is always the biggest challenge, and not that we've had any great increase in the number of people working for Anderson County, but council authorized a wage and compensation study, and we were losing people left and right, to bring our deputy pay, law enforcement pay, in line with others, so that we can keep our good officers and good law enforcement personnel and other good county employees here. And it's had a huge effect not only in retention, but the quality of people we attract, and the second phase of that goes into place this time. Plus we have some other things that police retirement is going up, other retirements, fixed costs that when you start the budget process, you know this cost X. So
are we seeing some health care savings from that?
It's still too early in our self-funded health care system, but we do know one thing. When Blue Cross Blue Shield raises the rate at the state, that's none of our concern. because we are, in essence, our insurance company.
And that's going pretty well.
It is going wonderfully well, but we don't have all the data in on how much it's going to cost. We think right now we will at least break even. But I've told you that with this direct primary care, where we pay X amount for each person, then they can go to the doctor as many times as they want. We have people who are going to the doctor who've never been to the doctor. And I told you the story about one person who went and he said, I feel really bad. And the doctor said, well, that's because you have diabetes and you need to be taking medicine. So it's helping the quality of life, not only
saving lives,
saving lives, and reducing the cost of medical bills that the county pays. Because if you get everybody healthy and going to see a doctor and taking care of things, things are going to be better. Have we had glitches? Yes, we've had glitches, but we knew we were going to have glitches. But so far, so good. But,
so any other budget challenges in there other than the personnel thing, or?
Well, we want to do the soft landing zone out of the TTI facility. Spartanburg has one, and that's a huge attraction. So we want that attraction for us. And other things, we have a continuously training people for these new jobs, working with Tri-County Tech, working with Career Centers 1 and 2. Can't wait for the new Tech Center to open for 3, 4, and 5. Looking for that to happen real quick and get those in there. We were at a meeting at Tri-County Tech today. And as you know, you can just walk the sidewalk from Tri-County Tech over to the technical high school. So congratulate School District 5 and Tri-County Tech and Anderson County to a lesser degree for that project happening. So we're happy about that. We have 4 paving contracts out from the Anderson County Transportation Committee. We touched on that. So hopefully we're going to see some more paving going on.
And that paving, we've got that one they're going to do out there between Anderson and Pendleton, where they got this new innovative program that builds the whole road at one time. Look forward to seeing that when they get that.
Well, I think you're going to have to film that.
Right.
Because I think that's going to be something that is going to be very, very interesting.
We've never seen that here before, where they tear the road up, it throws it back into something else, it grinds it up, and they pave the road right then and there.
That will be worth the price of admission just to go see that. So we have that going on. We have
a lot of other paving's going on too. I've noticed it's beginning. The weather's lighting up, and all
weather's good.
Those are already funded and ready to go.
Already funded, so you're going to see that in all sections of the county. So we're happy to see that. We finally got some plans for the next part of Kid Venture. Hopefully we will release that in maybe about 2 months. Finally got the plans for that. Working on the bathrooms out at Kid Venture, and we are going to, for a long time, the Fireman's Monument has been over at the Duck Pond. Well, here's the problem. We clean the Fireman's Monument once a week. The next day, we should clean it once a week. Then after we clean it, the ducks have done that, so we are looking to find a suitable, respectful place to move the Fireman's Monument, and we may put it out in front of the new courthouse or another position of honor, because we have the police memorial out on the square now, and the Fraternal Order of Police is also putting a monument to the police dogs that have been killed in action. That's going out in front of the new courthouse.
You got a lot of other plans for the Civic Center too, for some new improvements and things coming on. I noticed the new marquees look really good, and some of the other stuff that's beginning to...
And some things like that, and we've got some upcoming concerts coming up, so we're excited about that, getting good string. Happy for the opportunity up at the Garrison Farm. They're having some concerts up there, so lots of things for people to do are happening. I mean, last week at the Civic Center, you had Touch a Truck, which everybody in Anderson was there. Then you could return your drugs at another part of the Civic Center. Then they had the Daniel Prom inside the Civic Center, plus they were setting up the fair, plus in the morning we had the March of Dimes walk. So our little Central Park's getting the workout, but this week...
But there's some plans for some bigger and even better things at the Civic Center coming.
Yes. And we're going to have to redo the stage because our stage is old and antiquated in the amphitheater. So we're looking at that. So
what about the airport terminal? Where are we at on the airport terminal?
Not moving fast enough. But that's still under construction. If you look out the window where we are, you will see all of the construction equipment around the new courthouse, the new 26-year-old courthouse, which we're replacing the roof on that. We are in the process of having work done on the historic courthouse roof. So that needs to be done desperately. And we also need to reseal the bricks on the courthouse. So we'll be doing some work on the exterior.
And that's all
of
pretty
the
urgent
old
too
court.
on that.
And that's urgent. Building's been here quite a long time, so we need to do that.
What about the space behind here? Where are we at on that? I noticed District 5 is talking about wanting to put offices in there.
I'm expecting that we may have a ground moving in October.
Do we have any plans coming in yet, or does he have any drawings?
We have blocks
but no drawings.
that are constantly changing.
I got you.
We don't know what the skin of the building looks like, but we do know
how many buildings exactly.
But we do know it's multiple buildings.
Right.
We know that, and we also know that it's going to have green space, and we think it's going to be beautiful. Plus, there are people running all over Anderson buying property in the downtown area. And people are buying properties you wouldn't imagine that people would be interested in selling, but they are. So I think we're at a really, really good place, and you've heard me say that. But I think the construction is actually starting, and you're seeing these things happening.
Well, what the county does here, though, is going to be key to downtown's future.
Well, I think it's going to be the centerpiece for the new downtown. And if it's not, I'm going to be in big trouble.
It's only get one shot at it.
One shot.
We got other things coming up. Saluda River Rally will be here in less than a month now, right?
Saluda River Rally.
People from all over the East Coast come for this thing.
Everybody's excited about that.
Lots of water in the river this year.
Lots of water, hopefully not too much. They're still moving along. Several different groups are looking to put breweries on the Saluda River. On the Anderson side, some of the names that you would know. So we're hoping that's going to come to fruition. We just received another grant from the Duke Foundation to put a handicapped accessible kayak launch in the Belton area on the Saluda River.
Matt's been trying to do that a long time.
Matt's been trying to do that a long time. And if we could ever get Greenville or any other county to help us, we could really transform that thing almost instantly. But right now we're having to peck at it and beg, borrow, and steal money to do it.
Yeah, Greenville's promised and not kept their promises multiple times on this particular project.
I mean,
I don't know if you can say that or not, but they have. Yeah.
All I can
obvious.
All I can say is we've got a bunch of things and they don't, and I don't know why.
Right.
And we're still very interested and are assisting in the renaissance of the Piedmont area. And as you know, that's in Greenville and Anderson. So we're excited about working on that. We're excited about things going on in West Pelzer and Williamston. So there's a lot of good things that are going to happen on that side of the county.
Farmers market's kicking off this weekend, spring market, and last year it's one of the best markets we've had in years.
We're looking forward to that with some tweaking that we still want to do, that I want to do, but I'm working with the farmers who have their ideas about how they want to do things. So we're trying to reach an accommodation. So I envision a market like Marion Square in Charleston because we have the place to do it and do like that. So it's a work in progress to get that happening.
But we did bring a lot more people in last year. It was overflowing for a change.
It was overflowing, and as you know, we ran out of spaces, so we had to put temporary things out there. So that's going to go well.
What about sewer progress at exits 11 and 14?
As a matter of fact, we had a meeting on that this morning, and we think we have honed in on a location. We're thinking about the possibility of us doing, instead of us building our own treatment plant, but us doing something with the city of Clemson in Pendleton and saving us some money and using it at the site of the Pendleton wastewater treatment plant so we don't have to go look for another site. So that's something that we discussed this morning, which I think would be real good. And I think it would close a lot of other treatment plants on the river, which would make the creeks and rivers in Lake Hartwell cleaner.
And that's going to be huge for the county when we
That's
get
going to
sewer
be. Yeah, I
11
mean, we
and
got
14.
them.
That's the next big development.
We got people lined up waiting to go. I mean, they're ready to go now. When are you going to do that? When are you going to do that?
How about we talked a little bit about census projections you've seen and talked about. It looks like Anderson's going to have somewhere between 201, 207, depending on what you look at.
Well, they put out their estimate last week, and it was about 200,500, something like that. I'm still holding firm to 204,000, and it may be higher than that. I got to give 2 speeches recently. One was to the Lake Hartwell Property Owners Association. There was one couple from Anderson there, and the Civic Center was almost, at least a portion of it was almost filled. Those people had moved here. Then about 2 weeks ago, a group that I didn't know existed, but I was delighted to go speak to them, called the ABC Club, Anderson by Choice. And I told them I didn't want to give them a speech. I wanted them to talk to me and why they were here. One person told me they read about us in Forbes magazine in the region. I thought that was great. Another lady said she just kind of pulled off and saw the lake, and now she lives in Townville and says this is the best place she's ever lived. And it was just a variety of reasons, and a lot of them from upstate New York, a lot of them from Ohio, and people from Texas. One guy from Texas was effusive about being here, but that made me feel real good, so we were excited about that.
What are the growth challenges with all that growth, though, Rusty, jumping that fast, that far, that fast?
Well, council's ahead of the game on the sewer. We are ahead of the game on that, council's wisdom in doing that. With the referendum passing yesterday in the Powdersville area, by 3-1 in favor of it, they're going to make those schools beautiful and bigger and add all kinds of amenities. Now, it's already a madhouse in Powdersville. This is going to contribute greatly to that madhouse. But as you know, the county worked to provide information to everybody in Powdersville for them to decide whether they wanted zoning or not. And the vote went not to zone. So how do you control growth? You have sewer lines and land use restrictions, but they don't quite do the job that you want. So you have the people that are there that want to close the door, and a lot of people want to come there right behind you because School District 1 has such a great reputation.
And council just kind of made moves to make sure that the water and sewer there was taken care of too.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we had a meeting on that this morning on working with REWA to try to clean up our sewer situation in Powdersville and enhance it and modernize it. So we're working towards that. But when you put sewer, growth is going to occur. But we have sewer up there. A long time ago in a land far away, we did the first sewer line when I worked for the county the first time, just so they could put that little shopping center. And boy, did it blow from there. So, but that's good, and there's a lot of good people moving in.
And Pendleton's the other growing area, right?
And Pendleton, look, I talked to a guy today, 600 unit apartment house. 600 unit.
Plus all those houses they're building out there that are expensive.
Plus those 500 houses over there, and all of that stuff going on in Clemson University with their plans on Fance Grove. And I mean, it's just booming.
I know y'all continued, had a committee evaluating the parks and what was going to happen next with Anderson County's parks.
Well, we have a little list of things that we're going to do at Broadway, Kid Venture. We're kind of changing the tune up at the Dolly Cooper Park. And as opposed to making that an all-sports field, Councilman Davis is looking towards to make it what I think it might ought to be, a nature-themed park. And he's looking right now to put a trail that runs the length of the park that you could bike, walk, ride right by the river. And I think that would be absolutely beautiful. So we have those plans underway.
And again,
right now.
We talk about him a lot, but Matt Shell's been wanting to do that for a long time.
And Matt Shell's been wanting to do that for a long time. If it was up to Matt Shell, we would spend the ententire budget on recreation.
And people might enjoy that
and
for a while.
And I think they would.
Until they realize they didn't have anything else.
Right.
2 or 3 other quick things. Do we have an update on the county jail?
As a matter of fact, the Public Safety Commission is going to meet in 2 or 3 weeks and to just discuss how much would it cost, what are the financing options, because there's a bunch of ways to finance a jail. Do you lease it? Do you do a bond? What is the best way to do, and how do you put that in the context of everything? But the criminal justice group is working very, very hard, and I think we're having an effect on the numbers in the jail, and with our mental health screening, I think we're doing good. Another thing that we are wanting to make sure happens is that we have a veterans court and a mental health court, and we need those desperately. Other places have those. We want to enhance and inspire, so we want to assist in that effort.
Then one other new partnership that's about to kick in is the council approved some time ago this new partnership with ACOG and Meals on Wheels for senior meals in the county, provide meals.
Yes, there were a lot of places in the county that had once been served with a meal program, but they were all done away with. That was recently announced, so not only is it going to be providing meals in the outlying areas of Anderson County, but also here within the city. and thank the Council of Governments working with us. Thank Meals on Wheels for, in essence, really inspiring us to take a look at this. The city is going to assist us in some of these efforts. So it's a really, really good group. Probably one of the biggest things you asked earlier, what's one of the biggest things that happened? Well, last week when they opened the homeless shelter at the Salvation Army, that's about as big as it gets to me.
And we're losing Rob already. So
and we're losing Rob. They're kicking him up to corporate office. We wrote a letter begging him not to go, but they said, but he can go create a lot of other Robs.
In Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah, but I said, but at least we'll know somebody at the corporate office we can call. So that
they can send us a replacement maybe.
Yeah, but that's not good, but we're happy about that.
Yeah. Two things left. One, the county's been working to try to reduce litter. You did it with some extra officers this year and stockade cleanup crews. You might want to remind people again about our convenience and recycling centers. They continue to grow and upgrade and upfit.
And there's a recent video that you can look at on the Anderson Observer website and any one of the media platforms that Anderson County has. Channel 193 on Charter. We encourage you to look at those videos so you will know. I went to a town hall meeting with Mr. Davis a month ago and had a gentleman who came up to us and he said, I cannot believe that y'all don't have convenience centers and places to put your litter. And we said, and he just didn't know. We said, sir, and he told us where he lived. He lived 1.5 miles from the most modern convenience center we have. So yeah, we need to get the word out that they're where they are and how you can use them and when they're open.
And that was sort of the final place I wanted to go. Part of the growth has been the TV station being available on all the streaming platforms. A lot of people don't know. Roku, Apple TV, Amazon, anything you've got that streams you can pretty much get. So you don't have to go to YouTube, you don't have to go to the Anderson County website or anything to try to find it. Whatever kind of TV or streaming device on your phone or anything, you can watch Anderson County's.
And you can find out what's going on. You can find out where your convenience center is. You can find out how we do the budget. You can find out how land use works. And you can also find out the history of Anderson County. And you can find out what's coming up because we try to keep a current calendar of events. So
you can just search what you were interested in. You don't have to.
You don't
it's
have
not
to
live
watch it.
TV. It's.
If you want to go to YouTube, you can look at any of these things you want to. I mean, we have things that are absolutely fascinating. I mean, you know, that road out there that we call Main Street, what was the name of it before? It was the General's Highway. Why did they call it the General's Highway? Because Andrew Pickens used it to go back from Abbeville. Just all kinds of stuff around here that people wouldn't know. And it's very interesting.
And it's something that the county is really sort of put as the primary way to let people see, because everybody's watching now rather than reading and wanting printed stuff.
Yep.
They want to see it.
You can find out what's going on in Anderson County by looking at your phone.
And that's what people need to do between now and the end of the month, because when we meet again, it'll be time to talk about summer, and the budget should be about. You know, last year, the budget, well, I think for the first time in my memory, was pretty much done by the end of May. Y'all just tinkered with it a little bit in early June. It was done.
Well, one of the things that the legislative delegation, ours, and House and Senate, their versions of the budget are kind of the same, and it looks like we're going to get around $300,000 extra because they're redoing aid to subdivision. So we're very happy about that, and we expect that to grow, which will share the tax burden rather than placing it all on us. So there's some good news there. But my point is they're finishing early, so we're not sitting there at the end of June going, are they going to give us $1? Are they going to give us? And that's our money, by the way. It's not somebody else's money. It's revenues generated here.
So next time it's summer and start talking about fall, and that's it for right now, and we'll catch up next time.